Okay, it's 15. Okay, so the first article I'm going to be reading is 15 horrible date stories that will make you cringe. This can't be good. Alright. Everyone has been there. You're super pumped for a first date, and then it ends up tanking so badly that you have to either dig up your best so you never excuse or stick it out and wish you were hours deep in the Netflix marathon instead. Yeah, I've had dates like that, honestly. I've had dates like that off of Facebook dating. I was like, yeah, not going to see this person ever again. We've rounded up some of these absolute horrible date stories so you and the rest of the world can laugh about them now and that the nightmare is over. Repeat after us, never again. Yeah. I don't think I'd ever go on Facebook dating again. People on there just want... No. I went on there for friends. And they were all like, oh, well, this and that. No. Oh, crap, my friend Richard's calling back. You called back.
I did call back this time.
Yeah, so I wanted to show you that I got horseshoes.
You got horseshoes?
Yeah, see?
Oh, the piercings!
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said horseshoes. Like you're going to walk around like super crazy fucking high heels with fish swimming in them or some shit.
No, I had a, so I lost one of the balls while I was sleeping on my couch last night.
You slept on the couch, you got some balls in your mouth. Yeah, I got it.
No, I lost the ball for my studs. And so I was like, well, shit. So I could not, for the life of me, put the balls on for the other piercings of the horseshoes. So I had to go with the spikes.
Dude, why didn't you ask a guy for help? They're experts in the matter of balls.
See, I asked him to help me, and he wouldn't because he has nails.
Let me rephrase this.
Because he has nails?
Ask a man.
Oh, sorry. Should I rephrase it? Ask a man. Oh, she heard it. Never mind. I'll just put you out here in the middle.
And like yesterday, I ended up losing the exact same ball while I was at work, and I found it, and I tried putting it on, and I couldn't. So then I went to both my bosses, and they couldn't because they have nails, and they told me, well, go to the bathroom and try putting it on in there. So I was in there for like 5 minutes trying to put the ball on, and I still couldn't.
Why, you got nails?
No, I had no nails. And so I went to my coworker who works in the infant room with me, and I asked her, I was like, how good are you with your hands? With them like being... I was like, how good are with your hands? Like, are they steady and like, do they not sweat easily? And she was like, huh? And I was like, I need help putting on my ball. And so she was like, oh, I got you.
Why you want to call me about this now? I completely 100% understand why you wanted to call me about this. You're like any other human being in the world I can tell the stories to. It's ridiculous.
And so she got it on.
I was stuck on Cheyenne's titty earlier, so I couldn't answer the phone. So sorry about that.
It's okay.
Well, it's a pillow. It was extremely comfortable.
So yeah, that's what I wanted to tell you.
Well, thank you. At least you bring interesting things to the story.
Yes. And let me tell you, putting on these spikes, it took me like almost 2 hours to put both of them on.
Holy shit, you got the wrong
Dear
piercing.
God, dude, did you take elementary school at all?
No.
Yes, yes, but you know how hard it is to put these on?
Then how the fuck are you failing?
Because at that point, school was.
You're like, it's triangle, and that's a circle. I don't know how to put it on.
Exactly.
You know what? You have to be
It's like a
precise.
pyramid. It's confusing.
You have to be precise, okay? You have to like hold this a certain way, and then you have to put the spike on the right way. Okay, but I finally got it, okay? And then this one fell off while I was sleeping in the bed this morning.
Yep.
So I had to redo that. Oh shit, the spike fell off again.
Because you keep playing with it.
Yeah, that too. Well, it's not that I'm playing with it, it's I have to fix it because it keeps going in my mouth.
Japanese family?
Well, then let it go in your mouth. You're the one that put it there. Shut the fuck up and take it.
So now
What's wrong with
you get to watch me try and put this back in.
Oh, why thank you. I didn't know you owed me the pleasure.
Alright, time to go put my piercing back in. fucking ass. I cannot find my fucking spike. Alright, so instead of my spike, I got a ball for my piercing. How does it look? That's awkward. That is awkward. I got 3 spikes and a ball. Okay. Sorry, y'all, for leaving. Yeah. So let's continue. Okay, 2. The tickler sounds disturbing. Honestly. Oh, wait, no. Cancel. Alright. I was supposed to meet up with a guy I had met online at a bar near my place before we went to a blues club. He texted me while I was on the way there and said we should meet outside and find another bar, a 45-minute walk through the snow later. I'm of course wearing heels. Aw, that asshole, he knew. He fucking knew. I bet. He knew what he was doing. I asked if we could take a cab to get to the blues joint. But he said it's really close. We walked 25 more minutes to the blues place. At the table, he started horribly dancing around in his chair. Then he tickled my love handles. I cannot imagine someone tickling my love handles. The fuck. Oh, hell no. When I told him I was going home, he got in the cab with me. The whole ride, he was talking about how he wanted to go out again. I told him how busy I was. He definitely wasn't taking the hint. I'd be like, dude, I don't want to go back out with you. You're annoying. Is that just me? I don't know. The pill popper. Oh, this is going to be interesting. While on a date, I went to a guy's house who had a bottle of Viagra proudly displayed on the coffee table. That's all. You know dude can't get it up. That's messed up. 4. AIM buddy. Okay. Back when AOL Instant Messenger was big, a mutual friend introduced me to this guy who went to a different college, and we started flirting via instant messages. He offered to fly to where I live to take me on a real date. So I was pretty excited, but then when he took me out, he was silent almost the entire time. I kept asking him questions and getting only very short answers in response. I could not. If a guy just kept giving me short responses for questions, I would lose my shit. Just saying. Clearly, he thought our date had gone well. Because before he flew back home, he actually asked if he could kiss me. That was our first and only date. Same here, girl. Same here. 5. Bite me. That sounds... Okay. I met up with a guy I met on a dating site. After talking on the phone for a week, after I drove 30 minutes to get to his town, he changed plans for dinner. From dinner to a walk in the park. I was going to turn around then, but decided I should at least meet him. When I pulled up, I saw him and another guy with head to toe tattoos. My date told me it was his brother that just got out of prison. Fantastic. No, thank you. I'm gonna go. I was freaked out but too shy to just leave. Girl, I'd be too, but at the same time, I leave. So I walked with him to a picnic table where he took out his dentures and showed me he had no top teeth, which he thought was incredibly impressive. Gross. Gross. Disgusting. Which then he attempted to kiss me 10 minutes into our date. Nope, I'm out. I left and deleted the dating profile forever. I would too, girl. I would too. Just saying. Ain't doing that. Nope. Alright. 6. The culinary genius. I was dating this guy while we were both in the military. Military dating. Cool. He kept telling me that he was going to cook dinner for me one night. When the night finally arrived, he pulled out 2 meals ready to eat, which are microwavable meals that the military uses. He even made me make my own. What happened to I'm going to make us dinner? If a guy told me that and then pulled out that shit, I'd be like texting somebody, hurry up and call me with an emergency. I'd book it. I'd book. Nope, not doing that shit at all. No, thank you. 7. Toy Story. Oh, great. I was talking to this guy I met on a dating site. We chatted and we agreed to meet up. I thought he seemed decent when we met. He was wearing an oversized hoodie with his hands in the front pockets. Then he said, with a smirk, "Guess what I have?" I don't want to guess what you have. A gun? A pew-pew? He probably has a pew-pew. But before I could answer, he pulled out a STRAP on. No, thank you. So obviously I left. He texted me, "Why did you send me naked pics?" Which was shocking because I never did. This guy clearly had me confused with someone else. Damn. Hey, Silent Night. I met this guy and wanted to fill in a connection, but I agreed to go on a date anyways. We sat in silence for ridiculous periods of time at dinner, which was totally uncomfortable. I should have ended the date there, but instead, I agreed to get drinks at a bar afterwards. We sat at the bar, and the silence just continued. It was so bad that I began to strike up conversation with people around us at the bar. Finally, I reached my breaking point. I texted another guy who I had been talking to who was at a different bar in the area and told my date that I was ready to head home. When I got into the cab, I told the driver to take me around the corner where I met up with the other guy and had a great time. Well, 2-timers, not cool, but I can see why she did it. So, the X Factor. I was in college and ended up giving this guy my number at a bar because he seemed cute and normal at the time. Okay. We grabbed dinner and everything was going well, except that he could not stop talking about his ex. He talked about how much he missed her, trips they took, the fact that he thought they were going to get back together soon. Dude, if you are not over your ex, don't ask out another girl. The fuck? When he walked me home, he tried to kiss me. No. Not while you've been talking about your ex. No, thank you. You're not gonna kiss me. Thinking that I somehow had a great time. I thanked him for dinner and we never spoke again. Yes, Queen, don't ever speak to him again. 10. On the run. I was set up with this guy my former coworker knew. He texted me a few times and I finally said yes to a date with him. While waiting for him at the coffee shop for a date, I first noticed what looked like a teenage boy sprinting across the street. It was my date. He sits down, wipes off his sweaty forehead, and tells me that he is late because he was changing his new niece's diaper, and shares the details. The manager came over 10 minutes later to tell us that the coffee shop was closing and we had to leave. So we stood outside for another 10 minutes so I could finish my coffee. My date finished his water since he doesn't drink coffee, though he asked me out on a coffee date. Weird. When we were ready to go, he told me that he was heading uptown, gave me an awkward side hug, and said, "I have your number. I'll call you soon, honey." Turned and ran away. He literally ran away. Suspicious. 11. Drive me crazy. I was going on a first date with this guy, and he texted me right before the date asking me to pick him up from work and drive us to the restaurant because plans changed and his car vanished. Okay. He then joked that I drove like a girl, asked if I was a virgin, and told me he'd forgotten to make reservations at the restaurant. It was the most insane WTF is my life experience. Yeah. 12. Sweet guy. I was dating this boy, Matt, and I brought a 6-pack over to his apartment. We were sitting on his couch having a couple beers when his roommate came in, and Matt didn't even introduce me. I ended up introducing myself. Then he offered me a chocolate bar with the clarification that's been there for a while. I don't want you to think I bought it for you or anything. Do not worry, Matt. I didn't think that. Okay. 4 men and some turtles. I met a guy at a bar, and he asked me out. The night of the date, I met him at a bar downtown, which I quickly realized was a karaoke bar. Plus, he was there with a ton of his guy friends. I do not sing, and he was horrible. But he was a good sport, and after a few drinks, it seemed like a good idea to share a cab back with him. Oh no, honey. Bad idea. When we got back to his place, I realized that this grown man lived with all the guys we were out with in a tiny apartment with several small turtles. Oh yeah, and the place was so tiny that he slept in their living room on a twin cot. At this point, he turns on some music and pulls me onto the bed with him. He tried to convince me to stay over. But between the turtles and the roommates constantly coming in and out with their dates, it wasn't even a little bit tempting. Yeah. It wouldn't be tempting for me either, hon. To be honest. I lose my shit. Stand-up guy. I started chatting with this guy on OkCupid, dating app. And things were going so well, we decided to meet up for coffee. Within 2 minutes of sitting down, he wanted to hear stories about bad OkCupid dates I've been on. When I didn't indulge, he said, "Oh, come on, nothing? I stand up girls all the time. That hasn't happened to you?" This guy said he deliberately shows up 15 minutes late to date so he can check the girl out and bail if she's not cute enough. And then he expected me to take it as a compliment that he didn't bail on me. Needless to say, I came up with a family emergency and didn't stay for a second cup. I wouldn't either. I'd be out of there real fucking quick. Conspiracy theory. Oh, great. I was asked out by a guy I met at a bar once. We met for drinks at a dive bar, which was ironic given that he kept talking about how much money he had. He asked what I would like to drink and got it for me. But before he let me drink my beer, he pulled out a test kit and tested my beer for foreign substances. When I asked him what he was doing, he says, "I'm an ex-officer in the Australian Special Forces. The bartender seems nice, but you never know, as I am being tracked by the KGB. He told me about the year he spent living naked, trying to survive in the Amazon. Then he told me that if we dated longer than a month, I would have my blood tested for genetic superiority. So I left. He texted me later to tell me that he felt like he had known me his whole life, and I pretended it was the wrong number. Me too, girl. Me too. I'd so do that. I'm like, bitch, I don't know you. The fuck? Wrong number. You're like, who you? Who this? I'm so mean to random people. The humper. Okay. When I met up with this guy who asked me on a date, it was kind of awkward at first because he had an eye infection and it looked really gross. Okay. Then it got more awkward when we got to the restaurant and we were seated at a table in the middle of the room. After a few drinks, we went back to his place to watch a movie. But I was practically falling asleep. After the movie was over, he made a move and we started kissing. But then he started dry humping me and making out with me so aggressively that his 5 o'clock shadow was giving me a face rash. He asked if I wanted to sleep over, but I obviously said no and booked it home. I would too. That's it. Yeah. Okay. On to Am I the A-hole? Stories.
Begging for forgiveness, begging for me. Just like I've always done, but I'm so sorry.
Okay. The best Am I the A-hole post on Reddit and Twitter that made us all feel better in 2020. Am I the a-hole? My boyfriend places sheets on all the furniture when I'm on my period. Probably not, but let's read it. Periods suck. From the cramping to the mood swings to the aches and pains, they're not fun. They're not, coming from a woman. But first, our narrator, they come with the added annoyance of a humiliating boyfriend who doesn't seem to trust or understand period products, like tampons and pads. At the heart of the story is a 24-year-old boyfriend who has an attachment to his white furniture. This really shows when I'm on my period, my boyfriend does humiliating things, like placing sheets on all the chairs and lounges and makes me sleep in the guest bedroom on the first 2 days of my period, my heaviest days. And then he even asked me about when the last time I changed my tampon, she wrote. As soon as it's that time of the month, she isn't allowed to cuddle with him. Shortly before posting, though, she decided she had enough of his love for upholstery. I decided to put my foot down, and I took off all the sheets off the furniture, which got my boyfriend irritated, to which I told him that he needs to stop treating me like a leaking juice box, she said. Unsurprisingly, commenters voted our narrator was absolutely not the a-hole. Does he have any redeeming qualities besides owning furniture he cares about? One commenter wrote. So, no, he's the asshole for not trusting her with knowing how to handle her own period. Okay. Am I the a-hole for not making it known I understand Spanish to my girlfriend's family when they talk about me? Interesting. Meeting your significant other's family can be pretty daunting, especially if they can say what they actually think of you without you understanding. I felt that when I met his family. When I met my boyfriend's family, I was so scared to meet them for the first time, especially since I was meeting them on his birthday. So it was awkward, I will say. But I am now living with him and his mother, so it turned out okay. Our 24-year-old narrator met his girlfriend's family for the first time over Zoom after moving in together in quarantine. He is white and his girlfriend is Latina. But what his girlfriend and her family didn't know at the time, his adopted mother is Mexican and taught him Spanish at a young age. While everything was fine at first, it didn't take long for her family to switch to Spanish to share their actual thoughts on her new partner. Her grandma was the first to say something in Spanish, and her words surprised me because she was literally so nice talking to me. Then suddenly she switched, saying something else. ¿Por qué? I don't know the other thing. Why another white boy, pretty much. Damn! Then she asked when she can set her up with one of her friend's nephews, he wrote. As her other family members shared their thoughts in Spanish as well, he sat back and listened. Ooh. I didn't say anything because I was curious what their real thoughts on me were. It kind of sucked that they were so freely talking about me, right in my face, he wrote. Yeah, exactly. Once the criticism suggests he moved in with her because he didn't have any money, he decided to show off his hidden talent. So I answered in Spanish. We moved in together because we wanted to take the next step in our relationship and we love each other. His girlfriend's family was stunned and profusely apologized for what they had said. Her sister is telling us, what I did was pretty petty and mean because I embarrassed him. That I should have said I knew Spanish because that was a conversation I wasn't meant to understand / be a part of. Therefore, it wasn't my business to listen in. Hidden talents aside, commenters voted our narrator was not an a-hole. They're only mad because they got called out on their bold BS. Don't let it bother you, one commentator wrote. Exactly, don't let it bother you. You are not the a-hole because you're white and understand Espanol. I know a little bit of Espanol, I will admit. Am I the a-hole for sabotaging my little brother's food on purpose? Probably. The holiday season can be brutal for some, especially when dealing with family conflict. A 20-year-old Reddit user took to Am I the a-hole? For advice they had enough of their younger siblings' poor household habits. After doing all the dishes, cooking, and cleaning for their family on vacation, our narrator's younger brother asked them to cook him food. Instead of helping, he handed them a box of brownie mix and said, make this. Rather than standing for their brother's demanding attitude, they decided to add a bit of flavor to the situation. I make the food, he asked, but I always add stuff he doesn't like, they wrote. So if he asks for brownies and refuses to help, I put nuts in it. He hates them, I like them. After a few dishes, the younger brother told their parents. They just told me to stop being an a-hole and make food for him, they wrote. It was my last day at home, so I just told them to make food for him, if they are so concerned, before I left. Commenters voted with resounding certainty that our narrator is certainly not an a-hole. I feel so sorry for the poor person who's going to end up with OP brothers for a partner, one commenter wrote. Yeah, if my brother did that, I would do the exact same. Am I the a-hole for being upset at my sister getting my college fund money? A 17-year-old narrator took to Am I the a-hole after finding out the college fund she was promised actually had no money in it at all. After pursuing colleges online, her parents let her know that $80,000 her grandfather had set aside for her education was actually going to her party animal 21-year-old sister. I would lose my shit. I would lose it. Nothing. I raised this issue on Christmas, and I'm being blamed for ruining Christmas and not loving my niece or my sister, our narrator wrote. I told them yes, I really hate each and every one of them. I feel like an a-hole for that. While her parents offered her $10,000 to let the situation blow over, they called her greedy for being upset about the fund in the first place. Commenters started offering legal advice and deemed her not an a-hole for her reaction. If your grandfather left it to you in a will or any other legal document, you may have grounds to sue for the money, wrote a commenter. Yeah, you do have the rights to sue for it because it was technically your money that your grandfather had left you in his will, pretty much. So yeah, I would sue for that $80,000. The fuck? I would 100% sue. Am I the a-hole for stealing ducks from small children? Probably. Ending on a more tender note, final narrator begin their story with a disclaimer. This is a very British and polite post, not a serious issue. The narrator regularly feeds the ducks in a pond near their house. One day they went to the pond and found a group of children and their parents feeding the ducks. Thinking nothing of it at first, the peaceful scene quickly devolved into something less cute. The kids are shouting for the ducks to do something and running towards them when they do come on land, they wrote. This is super not okay for me, so I threw down duck food on my side of the pond and hijacked the little beauty. Once the duck friends were safely away from the children, it's when the real passive-aggressive Cold War began. Mother of the brats loudly exclaimed to father of the brats that I was a bit bloody cheeky and stole the ducks from her kids. They wrote, loud enough for me to hear, but obviously not aimed at me. Polite and British, no confrontation. I understand, I did steal them, but I just don't like children being taught it's okay to harass animals, they wrote. Am I an a-hole for duck stealing? Commenters quickly assured them that no, kind duck feeder, you are not an a-hole. Which I agree. Okay. The worst mother-in-law horror story from Reddit's Am I the a-hole? Birthday drama. When this mother-in-law showed up to a birthday party For her 4 and 5-year-old grandkids, she threw a fit over the food served. First, she asked what the nacho cheese was made out of, and the birthday kid's mom replied that it was a big can of cheese. She then asked me to dig the can out of the trash so I can tell her what is actually in it. The mom wrote, I refused. I told her if she wanted to dig through the trash, she could. She just pouted and didn't eat anything. Can you believe how rude that is? The daughter-in-law stood up for herself, though, telling her mother-in-law if she wants to have a party for the kids and serve certain foods and drinks that she was welcome to and paid for it herself. Until then, I would be getting what the kids asked for. Read the full wild story and her husband's lie that made it all much worse here. Alright, y'all. I'm bored. I'm tired. I'm ready for bed. I am going to go. Bye. And yes, I did get snake bites. For all of you realized or didn't know, yeah, they're snake bites. So, yeah.